Welcome to Scorched Earth and a general mid-month reading for the sign of Cancer, Sun, Moon and Ascendant for the month of September. I hope you're all well. This is going to be shorter than the main monthly reading, obviously, because it's only covering a 2-week period between the 15th and the 30th of September. And I'm going to attempt not to pull any clarifiers if I can possibly manage it, but I am open to breaking my own rules if necessary, so we'll see how it goes. Let's have a look and see what's going on for Cancer. It's the first card. We've got the Ten of Swords. Interesting. Don't panic. 2 more for Cancer's current energy, please. Ooh. We've got the Knight of Pentacles and the 7 of Cups. Right, at the bottom of the deck we've got the 7 of Wands, feeling quite defensive. There are 7s all over this actually. We've got the 7 of Cups here, we've got the 7 of Wands, and we've got the 7 of Pentacles. Now, 7s for me are a very spiritual number. They talk about lessons for me and sort of the processing of experiences. You know, I'm always talking about the numbers. If the 4 is the foundation, the 5 is the agents of chaos that blow all of that up. The 6 is moving to a safe distance, right? Getting yourself out of there, knowing when to leave a situation. The 7s, when you found that safe distance and you can kind of look back and process, integrate, hopefully, the lessons that you've learned from the experience that you've just moved away from. And it's interesting that we have 3 7s here for you. So, your current energy is difficult. We've got the 10 of Swords here, and that's a pretty visceral scene, you know, by anybody's standards there. That speared straight through the eye. But the 10s are an end of a cycle, right? They're where things were difficult, where things were painful. It is that coming to a completion of Swords. Now from here you go back to the Ace, hopefully, if everything goes well. It's kind of a rock bottom card in a lot of ways, and once you're at rock bottom, the only way you can really go is up. Point when I go over there. And so whilst it is a difficult card to look at, it does indicate that whatever the difficulty is that you've been experiencing, it is coming to an end. And this is in your current energy, so this is something that you're aware of. The 2 other cards that we have here are the Knight of Pentacles and the 7 of Cups. Now the Knight of Pentacles is strictly a Virgo card, but energetically speaking, it talks about taking small steps with something that you consider to be valuable, right? The Knight is usually shown holding this pentacle aloft, and for me it's the pentacle suit is about resources. So those can be money, there can be finances and all that sort of thing, but it can be your own energetic resources, and more often I tend to interpret it that way, but you'll have to take it as it you know, as it relates to you, because you'll understand your situation better than I. So the Knight of Pentacles is about slow, steady movement. It's very methodical energy. It doesn't have the drama and the pizzazz of the Knight of Swords and the Knight of Wands, but it is the Knight to whom you would entrust a task if you wanted it to be completed. So there is an ending here. There is you moving forwards with something of value, and it could be your self-worth, it could be your self-esteem, it could be your self-respect. If you've come out of a difficult situation where somebody has been mistreating you, then you know, kind of picking up your pentacle and going, right, I'm off, okay, I'm going. And it's not a fast run, but it's one that'll get you where you need to go. Now, being as it's in your current energy, I actually feel slightly a sense of frustration around this. Like, you are moving, things are happening, but it's in no way at the speed that you would like it to occur. Right? And it feels like you're kind of pushing against something here to try and move, something that's stopping you from moving as fast as you would like. And then we've got the 7 of Cups. Now, we notice immediately that the moon is at the top there, and the moon is the card of Cancer, right? It's up in the sky, and the sun is down here at the bottom of the card. The 7 of Cups can talk about lots of options. But it can also talk about illusion. It can talk about things being not quite as they seem. And it feels a little bit like you're moving around in the dark at the moment, Cancer. You don't really know which way is up. You don't really know where you're supposed to be going. But the fact that this moon is in the sky for you, I feel like you need to do what you internally feel is right. No matter what anybody else is saying to you, no matter what anybody else's opinion is, because at this point I feel like their well-meaning intervention is just kind of muddying the water for you a little bit, right? And although the way is not clear, following your own insight and your intuition will get you to the destination that you're trying to get to. Let me get one more card for that. Tell me about the Seven of Cups, please. Seven of Cups. There it is. I've got Five of Swords in reverse. And the card that dropped out to the side here was the Four of Cups, which can deal with feelings of rejection and abandonment, sometimes being taken for granted. And it does... energetically, that does kind of sit quite well with that. It's coming out of, well, it's kind of realizing that you've been in a situation where this is operative, where this has been at play, you know? Sometimes it can be trying to give affection to people who really just don't fucking want it and you never saw it, you know? Anywho, let's put that to the side, because the card that came out was the Five of Swords in reverse. Now, this way round, it's very uncomfortable energy. It can talk about verbal conflicts. It can talk about people ghosting you, actually. Because it's swords, it deals with words, it deals with communication, it deals with thoughts, right? It can be you talking to other people talking to you. Because it's a five, it deals with a shift, an uncomfortable shift in that conversation. Now that can be it ramping up and becoming aggressive and nasty, right? That's possible. It can be people ignoring you. That's also possible. The most stabilizing thing that I think you can do to five energy is to invert it. And what I see here is you not trusting the word of somebody else. Yeah? There's an illusory nature to this somewhere that feels like you are getting insight into it, right? And so you're moving painfully slowly away from a situation. Intriguing. So let's have a look and see what's coming towards you, Cancer, for the last 2 weeks of September. Ooh, we've got the Hierophant. It's flown out there. That's the card of Taurus. We have the Father of Wands, that's a Leo card. Oh, kind of drifted out as well. And we've got the Eight of Cups. Got the Nine of Cups here, and this is confirming for me this feeling that you have picked up something about you that is valuable, and you are now holding it aloft and walking away from something. I said initially that I felt like you were moving away from a thing. Well, here we have you doing it properly, because you're putting your happiness first, right? You're putting yourself first, making sure that your emotional needs are met, right? And this is a really high vibe energy for you, Cancer, absolutely. But what's coming towards you is this Hierophant here, Taurus, Father was Leo, and this Eight of Cups. Now, you could be dealing with a Taurus or a Leo, but I just don't feel that you are, on account of the fact that both of these cards have got a really similar lightning strike running through them here, right? So we've got high energy, right? Really high energy with a lightning strike. It's like coming down into a single point. But because this motif runs through both cards, I feel like this is you and your energy, right? So the Hierophant is about structure. It's about, to some degree, it's about rigidity, but it is about the structures that we build within ourselves, right? And outside of ourselves to support us. So, you know, higher education, or education generally, you know, business, that sort of thing, you know, where you've got somebody at the top and kind of people below them here. But it also talks about commitment, and it also talks about faith. And I feel like this is what's happening for you. There is an event coming up, and it feels like an event. It's something that happens that makes you realize that you have strong foundations actually in the first instance, and there are people around you that you can trust, but ultimately you are the one who is in charge of your own destiny. And it's like there's something occurs here that renews your faith in some way. That's what's coming through really strongly. I can't remember for the life of me what your reading was about, the main monthly reading, which is not unusual. I tend to forget exactly what I've said as soon as I've stopped the camera, to be honest. But there's an event, right? This crow looks pretty dark. It's not a crow, it's a raven. It's quite a dark looking omen, but it feels like it's one of those situations that initially seems like it's a bad thing, and then very quickly you realize that actually this clears your way for you and is the key to something better, right? And it's sudden. We've got this real sudden energy about it. The Father of Wands, this King of Wands here, it's a cobra. We've got this same lightning strike, this big power, you know, coming to a single point. But the wand suit is all about, it's about living in the moment, but it's about activity, it's about doing. This sees your energy levels spike, I think, because of this, right? Well, actually, we need to read these two in tandem, because we've got this same lightning strike through here, right? Something that initially seems like it's a bad thing, which very, very swiftly you realize is actually a good thing. Maybe it's an opportunity you can capitalize on, you know, something like that. Fill in the blanks, you'll know better than I. But the King of Wands is the culmination of the wand suit, and that is all about the active masculine energy. It's about going after the things that you want. It's about high energy doing, right? Now, the queens are all receptive feminine energy, and things come to them. But of all of the queens, the Queen of Wands is the one who's less likely to sit still and wait for things to come to her. She goes after things quite aggressively too. And it feels like that's what you're doing, right? And then we've got this Eight of Cups. This is you detangling yourself, is what I want to say. It's not just kind of walking away, because I feel like to some degree you're kind of trying to do that already. This is a proper detangling. I kind of got this urge to just kind of pull my arms out of something that I have been stuck in. That's how it feels, your energy right now. It's kind of like that, right? I'm moving away. And I actually always really loved this depiction of the Eight of Cups, because rather than showing somebody kind of just like picking up their, you know, their cloak and their walking stick and heading off under the light of the eclipse, leaving all of these perfect cups there, the cups are all broken here, right? And the cups are the vessels that hold the water, which is emotion and feelings in the tarot, right? You see this for what it is. These cups are broken, they're not fixable, there's nothing here for you. And actually, whatever it was that's been keeping you stuck, like that might be the insight that you needed to move away from it. But move away from it you do, and it looks like it's going to pick up a pace for the last 2 weeks of September, because you have got a lot of energy, just like the cobra. I mean, like, you know, what do cobras do? They, you know, they do their wavy thing around, and the hood comes out, and then they strike, you know, they strike at something. This is interesting because it's very unusual energy for you, but it seems like there's something really driving you, something really motivating you, you know. We can see the Hierophant and the Father of Wands talking about business owners as well. If you have your own business, and particularly if you're like a sole trader or an entrepreneur, something like that, like the Hierophant is the commitment, is the faith, is the building, the thing. The Father of Wands is the get up and go, the drive to go and do this thing by yourself anyway, right? Fascinating. Do I want to pull an extra card? I think I will, actually, just because I'm nosy. Another Hierophant here. The Moon. And Judgment. Yeah, like I see you moving forwards. You know, much like I was saying here, where you had to follow your own kind of judgment about things, right? You needed to work out what it was that you thought about something, not everybody else, right? Because at this point they're not important. It all needs to come from you. What's clarifying the Hierophant, right? The card of faith, the card of commitment is your card. Here is you showing up again really authentically in your reading. And judgment, right? You need to exercise your judgment about the structures in your life that are important. And get ready to move, Cancer, because I think something's coming and it's big. And possibly, you know, there might be an element of you walking away, actually. I've just noticed that that card is reversed. Walking away from some sort of conflict that you've been dealing with for a while. Fascinating. Right, let's get you some cards of advice. It's really funny because with all the other signs, there's a restriction, which is what you've got here in your current energy, but very little incoming resolution of that. Like, it's expect things to be slow, expect not to be able to do anything. With you, it's quite the reverse. This is really strong, powerful energy coming in by your hand, right? Here's some cards of advice for Cancer, please. Okay. Wow. This is really fascinating. So at the bottom of the deck, we've got the Three of Swords, right? Now we've had the Ten of Swords in your current energy. This makes an awful lot of sense, right? It's a very visceral card. It talks about heartbreak, right? But it's followed by the Four of Pentacles, which talks about a need to release something. We've got the Two of Wands, which talks about, you know, internal planning. It's a card of planning and strategy and working out the consequences of taking one road over another, right? Very internal, not yet moving. And then the Wheel of Fortune there, right? Whatever you've been experiencing of late, as painful as it is, there's some sort of lesson in there for you, and it's one that will set you up better for where you are headed than you would be if you hadn't experienced it. But the key to moving forwards, we're back to this imagery again, is to release whatever it is that is wounding you and turn your eye towards the future, right? Look at the lesson. Maybe the thing that's gone south, whatever it is, whether it's a relationship, whether it's, you know, a friendship, whether it's some sort of business idea, something that you've had, like, it's gone south for a reason, and it's to allow you to rethink it, right? It's quite Saturn energy in there, and Saturn's like ruffle stomping across the sky at the moment, so it's a thing. Go back to the drawing board, Cancer, right? Try not to carry this too heavily, but whatever this is for you, try not to carry it too heavily. Look at it. What lesson did you need to learn from it? Go back to the drawing board with everything else, and then eyes forward. The advice that you've got is really interesting because now we have the Mother of Wands here. We also have the Daughter of Wands. These are the Queen and the Page, respectively. And we have the Ace of Cups. Oh, I really like this combination. There's a lot of fire here for you. And a lot of actual activity, like I said, where the other signs are being restricted and they're not being able to be as active as they would like. For some reason, this isn't applying to you in the last couple of weeks of September. So there's your active kind of energy there. And here we have the perfect, you know, polar opposite in terms of masculine and feminine energy. We've got the Mother of Wands, the Queen of Wands. Now, where this is ready to strike, where you will be ready to strike, there's something much more protective here. And the first thing I heard when I turned this card was, do not share this with people, right? Keep this close to your chest, right? Not everybody needs to know your plans about everything. And at this point, it's better for you that people don't know all of your plans. To keep your cards close to your chest, keep yourself wrapped around your eggs until it's time for them to, hatch, which it isn't at the moment. Right? But it's not far off, because we go from the mother to the page, right? Well, presumably that snake there, that much smaller, much more juvenile, younger snake, right? The eggs are gone, and this is one of them, right? If you've got irons and lots of fires, one of them is going to pay off, and it's going to pay off well, big time. Don't share this with people. Let them know about it, right? Because it's coming to fruition very, very soon. Something new is coming. And then we've got the Ace of Cups. Where at all possible, move forwards in forgiveness and compassion for everyone, right? For those people that have hurt you, for anybody who's made you feel like this, for anybody who has, pulled this kind of thing on you here. Forgiveness, compassion, release. Always release, right? But not just for other people, for you too. And this is really, really important, because this is something that gets missed by everyone, right? It's all very well to be forgiving and compassionate to other people, but if you do not extend that towards yourself as much as anything else, then that will come back and bite you at some point, right? Because it does, right? It'll get shoved into the shadow stuff, like I did a bad thing, and just not talk about it, not even think about it, and just leave it in there. It'll bubble out, it'll vent at some point. This is an incredible release, and it comes through, just as I said, forgiveness and compassion for you first, then everybody else. And you first seems to be the watchword for this reading, right? Your intuition first, your judgment first, forgiveness and compassion for you first. Working on, I was going to say hatching your eggs, because that's not the word I was looking for, sitting on your eggs. You hatch them out first. Everything else comes later. Everybody else comes later, right? Because something new is coming for you, and I feel like it's pretty glorious. Right, Cancer, I'm going to leave it there. If you haven't seen the main monthly reading, it should just be up in the corner here somewhere. I'll put it there by now. And there is an extended to that as well. So, if that reading resonates with you, there's like nearly an hour, I think, of Cancer-related stuff after that. But if not, no, it's cool, all cool. This is really intriguing. I'd love to let me know if it resonates with you in any way. But other than that, know that I love you all, and I'll see you very soon.